This is my new Speak Out video on YouTube against work bullying. And this one is about why bosses should really pay attention to what's going on. To all workplaces, listen to me very carefully. You need to really pay attention who you put as either a manager or a worker or some other position. Why? Because there are some people that are not fit for certain positions. If a manager doesn't treat their customers well or is really rude to not only the customers, but the workers who are working hard to get what this customer wants, you need to get on to that manager because they're not doing their job and when they're being rude and ignorant. And if they're not having remorse for what they're doing to their customers because they're going through some kind of hard times like a really big emergency of some kind, you should tell them to have compassion. And you also need to pay attention who you put as in certain work positions because if they're not going to do their job or just do it the way they want, you may not want to put them in that position. There are some people in some workplaces that don't need to be working there. And if you're going to put someone as foster parents to take care of children or teens, if they're not good with children or teens, they don't need to be in that position. You need to let them go and find someone who's really good. And really pay attention who you put in certain positions, especially when you're getting complaints from not only customers, but the workers as well that they're treating them and other people bad and they're bullying them and being ignorant. And if they're teasing, harassing, calling them names, or threatening to do really bad things to them, you need to do something about it. Because if you don't do something, you may end up having a lawsuit, or the person may end up quitting and threatening to do something about it. And then and if it's a teenager, they could get their parents or guardian involved, and it could be bad. You could have lawsuits and maybe even really big protests because you're not doing your job of getting on to people when they're being very mean to their workers, customers, or whoever they're working with. So always really, really pay attention to who you put in certain work positions, including being a boss or worker of some kind. Because if you don't start paying attention and they're not right, like being a manager for a restaurant, and they're rude to not only the workers but the customers, it could be bad and there could be serious consequences. Remember what I just said, and may God be with all his children always.